Yeah.
Johnny is a Southern California guy, and he likes to bust my chops about being a cheeser. And I don't know, Dave, I'm curious as to your perception on people from Wisconsin now. I mean, Johnny, tell them a little bit about the balls you bust with cheesers and how the Southern California boys have a little bit of
Well, I
opening day for that matter.
well, it just I'm sure you can relate with it now. Now that you lived out in Southern California and you're from Milwaukee, and but yeah, on the Brewers we had a fair amount of guys from Southern California, and I'll never forget one day Robin comes in and he walks in the trainer's room, and he's quiet, unassuming, and he comes in to get his treatment, and he just looks at me, and Robin never says anything negative about anybody. And Kid looks at me and he says, "Hey man, you're not going to believe what happened." He goes and he starts giggling to himself, and he goes, "So I'm driving. I'm at the drive-through in McDonald's because I've got to pick some stuff up for the kids. And here's Robin, the most low-key guy in the world. He's got a house. They lived in Hales Corners. You know, and he goes, so the kids order their food, and he goes, and so I order a iced tea, and the girl says, "Oh no, we don't have iced tea. That's out of season."
Oh, well, I never heard of that.
Oh yeah, and he goes,
I do recognize the Hales Corners accent.
yeah. Thank you. But he starts laughing, and he goes, "What? I've never heard that in my life. There's a season for iced tea?" And so, of course, then Gantner walks in, and Gantner like, "Oh yeah, oh of course there is." And we're like, and now the other Southern California guys, Jim Slayton and Mark Brohart, and we chime in and tell them how square they are and blah blah blah. So it was always that type of thing.
Yeah, I think Robin was from Woodland Hills.
Yeah, he went to Taft High School then. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He's a Valley boy. Yeah.
and I never met him, so there I can.
Oh, you never leave the house, so how the hell
I
could
never
you?
leave the house, and well,
And neither does Robin. Robin never leaves his house. So yeah.
and well, I'll go over there if he needs me to. But they kid me about I never want to go east of the 405.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I live in Brentwood. Everything I have is right on San Vicente Boulevard. Every restaurant I want to go to, there's a tailor. There's everything. It's not like living in a small town.
I heard a great quote. This guy says, "Do you want to go to Europe?" He says something. He says, "Do they have something there I don't have here?"
Yeah.
And when you think about it, like my dad was from Germany, or he was born in Buenos Aires, and I'm going in the Kettle Moraine area, Dave. Do you remember that? And we're driving.
Yeah.
I must have been 15, and my dad was a doctor, and he was weird. And I said, "Dad, what's it look like in Germany?" He goes, "Look out the window."
Yeah. And my daughter's going to spend her junior year in college in Milan, Italy. I'll probably fly there. But so I go there for a week, probably take my son with me. And but my ex-wife wants to meet me in New York, because Sarah's flying to New York first, and then she gets her flight. She's visiting friends in New York. I don't want to go. I mean,
yeah,
I want to be with my ex-wives much more than I want to be in New York or travel anywhere.
Traveling, yeah. I got you.
I hate waking up early in the morning, and this is something that's probably in the last 10 years. There's stuff I just don't want to do anymore.
I'm 61, and there's a whole shit ton of things I don't want to do anymore. I mean, I look out the window and I have to shovel or mow the lawn, and I'm really at a breaking point. I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know if I really want to do that. I mean, I don't have the John Adam or Zucker money to do something about it, but at some point where you're just like,
I really enjoy my money, and just I don't have to do anything, and I can hire a guy to shovel my lawn.
There you go. If it ever snows in Brentwood.
Yeah, as soon as it snows in Brentwood.
That sounds like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It snows in Brentwood.
A Christmas song.
Even better. Even better.
You know what's a great Christmas movie is Elf.
Really?
Oh, I agree.
love
It's in my top 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so funny, and Will Ferrell is so great.
He is. He is.
But they don't make comedies anymore. So what can you do?
Well, what was the last good comedy you saw, David? I mean, can you remember? My thing that is comedic to me is, oh, the movie will be out the theaters on Friday. It'll be streaming by Monday. I mean, that's how quick it is now, and it's mind blowing.
Somebody just texted me an article about that the trouble with comedies in theater not being in theaters is that you can't see it with the whole audience laughing along.
Yeah, I get it.
In comedy, you can still watch. My favorite 2 movies in the whole world history of movies are Godfather 1 and 2. You can watch those, by yourself with me, or a horror movie. But a comedy really is greatly helped by having that communal.
The communal. One bit that you've done so much in your catalog, but there's one little snippet of something you did in Naked Gun when Priscilla Presley and Leslie are coming out of Platoon laughing.
Yeah.
Right. You remember? Do you have any idea what gold that is? I mean, how do I, 38 years later, remember that so vividly? It was just a throwaway. I mean, to you probably.
It's great. A lot of the jokes were done without, actors having to be funny.
Right.
Chevy Chase, I thought, was excellent in his movies. In his heyday, boy, was he good.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a real comic actor.
Mm-hmm.
And, Leslie or Priscilla or Robert, they didn't really have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just had to, act it, which was a whole different thing. They just remade Fletch, I heard, with John Hamm. I haven't seen it. But I can't imagine how that would be, because John Hamm is not a comic per se.
Yeah.
But he was an excellent dramatic actor.
Yeah.
And I heard he loves comedy. But
it doesn't mean you can do comedy.
It doesn't mean you can do comedy. You can do, the kind of spoof comedy that we do, which I think any actor could do.